Welcome to a space for movement, mindset, and sustainable rhythm. This is Body Evolution. Welcome again to the Body Evolution podcast, where health becomes simple, sustainable, and human. Hi, I'm Corey Rep.
And I'm Eli Berenger, and we break down fitness, nutrition, habits, and energy through one lens, what actually works in real life. Let's do this. So, in the last episode, we were talking about the willpower and consistency and about discipline and how to start. And we were talking about small actions and why pushing harder is not the best solution. And uh, we wanted to talk about a little bit of identity, and we talked these different things. But today,
Yeah,
we
today
want
we're
to
going to
enter.
go into the next step of that conversation, right? And this episode's more detailed about how health actually works in your body. And so when you stop isolating just one area or one little habit here and there and start supporting this whole system and how that really works together. So we're going to break that down into a framework that we've created called the 5 pillars. And this is not as like rules to follow, but areas of support that make your consistency feel natural and incorporated into your life more wholly. This is not to say that we have to cover all 5 pillars at all times, as we talked about before. Simplicity is best, so start small. But these are the areas where you want to grab onto something to grow in all these areas because they work together.
Exactly. And that's important to understand because sometimes some people is only focused on one area, no? Like some people focus only in the fitness. Other people only focus on nutrition. Oh, I'm eating healthy, so I'm healthy. Other people is, no, I sleep well, so that's all. But yes, each one of them are super important. But we are a whole. We need our bodies. If we compare to a machine, you cannot only focus in a car. You cannot only change the wheels from time to time and take care of the wheels, or only the motor, or no. You have to take care of the whole system so it works correctly. So when we focus too much in one point, that point is perfect, is good, but the other ones can collapse and then they can affect even the one you're doing right. If I'm
Yeah.
eating right, why I'm getting sick or why I'm happen this? Because we need these different areas. Our body needs is we need they are all intersections and
Yep.
each one affects the other one. So at the beginning start with one is good, but don't stay there, no, like we need to advance and to begin to focus on different areas too and begin to improve in the different areas.
Right, right. So yeah, we'll get into how all of these things do interact, taking one little starting thing and letting that carry on to more and bigger things. But if we only do that in one area, like you said, if it's just fitness and I only worry about that part, and it's like, oh, I'm going to start with this small step and it's going to build into something great, but I don't look at these other areas of life, then you're going to not get the results you want because your body needs to be supported in a holistic way. So what are these 5 areas of our life, our health that
So
we've come into, Elliot?
the the areas are what we call the 5 pillars. They are all intersected and they are important, but we separated. It's not the only areas of health. No, there is more things, but these are very foundational for our health. So we have movement, we have nutrition, we have sleep and recovery that goes together. We have mindset and the stress on the on the body and mentally too. And then we have what is daily rhythm, the environment, and connections. So these are the 5 areas that is important, and each one have a specific benefit, and each one interacts with the other ones. And we're going to jump to explain a little bit how these different areas, where we don't need to be perfect in them, we don't need to have everything working perfectly, but we want to put signals in these different areas to
Right.
begin to improve them.
Yeah.
So Why we don't start with movement, for example?
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, so as far as movement goes, movement, obviously, we all know that what working out does for your body, right? In terms of getting your shape in the way you want it to be, but it burns the extra calories, but it improves in your whole health, in your whole life, your energy, your mood, your confidence, and daily movement is really the foundation of that, like general movement, just like joyous movement, taking a walk, going for a hike, swimming, dancing, all these things that we can find joy in doing and just to make those part of our daily life. And then there's workouts. Workouts are sort of the next level of sort of intentional movement to create specific changes in the body. So that's where movement does for the body. But again, that gives us the shape, the confidence, the energy, the physical energy in our body, and it does enhances our brain, our blood flow, our mood, and everything.
So before we jump to the next one, I love what you were saying about the workouts. So people sometimes confuse the movement and functional movement with fitness, no? Like I have to do fitness. No, first, the most foundational is we need our movement. We're built up to walk, not exactly to run all the time. We're built up to walk. We're built up to do, like you will say, squats, or not, but to pick up things, to put things up, to push, to that. So these are natural movements that we have to get used to through the day, and they are very important because they are the foundation. And then,
Yeah,
as you were saying,
yeah,
workout, fitness is to specific adaptations you are looking for.
yeah,
It can be building muscle, it can be gaining flexibility, it can be improving your cardiovascular system. So it's very important to do that two distinctions. And hey, first movement,
yeah.
foundational, then adaptational. Focus
Hmm.
on the adaptation. So I wanted to add that because for me was a little bit uh, a confusion for me. I always thought the first thing I needed to do is more fitness and workout. And then I realized that I needed is only to start walking more, being more active instead of being sedentary. That's the first rule. Breaking out the sedentary. And in these days,
Yeah.
we sit down for hours, man. And it's funny when some people tell me, I go to the gym 1 hour. Okay, cool. How is the rest of the day? Oh, I'm sitting down in my work. Uh, to go to the work, I'm going the car. Then I arrive home and I'm sitting down in the couch. So you spend from the 16 hours you are awake, you spend almost 15 or 14 sitting down, but you go one hour to the gym. I will prefer to say to that person, hey, I prefer that you're active the whole day and skip that hour of gym, you know, in a way that will bring you more health to longevity, and put 15 minutes only in the gym,
Hmm.
but be more active the rest of the day. So I wanted to add this because it's a confusion for a lot of people. They think that
Uh,
they go 1 hour, half an hour to the gym.
yeah,
That's all.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
I thank you all, and I want to make this general comment. You'll find that my personality is to bring things so much more concisely. So I'm just going to wrap it up in this nice little package. But Elliot's so much better. It's like, thanks, Elliot, for sort of expounding upon it. Let's give some examples. Let's give a broader explanation of the whole thing. So I appreciate that. Thanks for checking me on that. So yeah, that the movement, the daily movement, is certainly better than certainly overshadows workouts in terms of your general health and being mobile for sure.
yes, well, let me talk about nutrition. What you can bring about nutrition? What is important and how they can interact with other areas? Oh, we didn't say that movement can help you to sleep better. Working out
Ah,
can
yes,
help you.
yeah. I mean,
Interaction.
all of these things are going to help each other. So yeah, the interaction between these things is so vital. And like I said, the movement helps your mood, it helps your sleep, it helps your energy all the way around. And then workouts is sort of compound that. If you add workouts to your movement, don't like you said, be sedentary and then to say I work out and then I'm sedentary more. It's movement, and then the next level is working out.
Yeah.
And nutrition uh, gives us the energy we need. And so we want to balance that, and the food we intake has to provide the energy we need to live and work. And but we also need to know that, you know, food isn't just about calories. Food is about so much more. And if we eat the right stuff in the right proportions, it gives us energy. It can give us focus. It can be better for our brain health. Um, and we need to create an idea about our nutrition feeds our body and makes our body function in the right way, and not just in our brain, but how our muscle work, how our energy actually is distributed, and how, you know, we don't have these ups and downs in energy if we eat correctly. We don't have this, you know, and less likely to get sick if we eat correctly. All the functions in our body are working correctly. And so, and if we eat in the right proportions and the right timing, it has to do with our sleep and recovery. It, you know, eating in the right proportions and the right nutrients and the right timing help our fitness and workouts, and help support that recovery from those things and rebuilding. And so nutrition is a very important aspect, and everybody knows that, you know, the diet, how you eat is a huge portion for your health. But so many people sort of undervalue it and say, okay, as long as I don't eat too much, I won't be overweight. But it's so much more than that.
Yes, and I love that you bring that because a lot of people is only focused on the energy. No, I need calories. That's all. But it's not true because from the food we eat, we need a lot of resources. So, food are signals and is information for the body. So we need different nutrients to build up all our hormones, to build up our bones, to build up our muscles, to keep our organs functioning correctly, to have the vitamins the body needs for our immune system. We need the minerals for our neurotransmitters. So if you only focus on calories, someone can easily say, hey, I can eat only chips and I will have energy. Yes, but you will get sick with time because your body is not having all the vitamins, all the minerals, the proteins, the fats, and everything that it needs. And a lot of issues and sickness comes from not giving the body the nutrients. So this is
Yeah.
the funny part. We talk about eating, but we're talking about nutrition. We need to get the nutrients to our body to function correctly.
Right.
An example, a car, it only needs gasoline? No, you need oil and you need things and different parts that you have so the brakes work correctly, the motor works correctly. So the fuel is energy, but we need other components that we have to give to the car. We have to put some water to the, if not, the machine stop working. Yes, you have gas. That the car is full of gasoline, but it doesn't fucking start. It's like it's blocked. It's like
Yeah.
it's not starting, but it have gasoline. So
Yeah.
that's our body too. No, like we need this building. Like talking about nutrients, we need different fats for our brain for energy, but for other functions. We need proteins for hormones. We need proteins for our muscles, our tissues. We need the carbohydrates, of course. We need some levels of carbohydrates for different reasons too, not only energy. So, not
Yeah.
only calories, is where those calories are coming from is so vital,
Yeah.
it's so important. And nutrition, if you do a lot of fitness, but you are only eating carbs, believe me, you're gonna, why my muscle doesn't grow? Why I don't get stronger? What the hell is going on? I'm doing all this. Well, your body needs protein to build the muscle.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing all this exercise. Why my bones are not good? Well, you need minerals to keep your the health of your bones correctly. So to improve your fitness or your movement, you need the adequate nutrition for what you're doing. And they're going to interact. But even to give the energy to the mitochondria, to give, you need to food that helps you rest, that helps your digestion, so it's easier. And it's funny because sometimes we forget that food is affecting all these areas, even your mood, even your memory, even how you work. Uh, and the food that we need is accordingly for the lifestyle we're having too. So if you're pushing hard in your body, you need to give some nutrients to your body. If you're pushing very hard mentally, you need some nutrients for your brain.
Mm.
It's very important and how
Yeah.
they interact.
And one other comment you sort of triggered in me with like sort of the gasoline thing. You need fuel in your tank to keep moving, but you know what? We've got reserve tanks, and that is in our body fat and our storage of. We're never lacking for energy. We're not. None of us. Very few of us, at least anybody listening to this podcast, is near starvation, and so our energy reserves are there. So to say I need this many calories in a day to keep moving, no, you need to master your metabolism to keep moving. You need to be able to go, into using those fat reserves, ketosis, more readily. That's our metabolic flexibility. We'll get into those details in later episodes, but that is one thing we got to learn about nutrition is that we don't even need the calories, those carbohydrates that are energy, because we're not even close to out of energy. We just
Yes.
so we do need the nutrients. So focus on the nutrients, not try to keep those calories from getting over too much because that leads to the weight gain and everything else. Obviously, when we're overeating calories. Yeah.
Yes. That's super important. I love that you bring that. It reminds me the fasting is part of this
Oh
concept
yes.
of nutrition.
Yes. Yes.
So fasting have two things. Stress is the billion. No, we need the stressors for the body. So for movement, we're stressing the body. For going to the gym or doing fitness, we're stressing the body so it becomes more resilient. It grows. In nutrition, fasting is signals too, and sometimes we need the fasting to give some rest to our liver, to give some rest for our pancreas, to give some rest to our gut and everything, to have some resting time. And we do it naturally when we sleep. There is a period of 8 hours, more or less, that we're not touching that and is resting. And they need those rest to do it other processes that only taking out toxins or processing. And sometimes we need a little bit longer for the health of our cells and everything. So it's part of the nutrition too, is stopping sometimes, not eating all the time. So I love what you say about the reserves, because when you do fasting, you can access those reserves, but you are giving a little bit more uh, time to recover to different organs or different functions in your body that need that rest from always being eating all the time.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that we spent some time on nutrition, but it's a big chunk of it, and everybody knows that, right? And so that is a big area of focus, and it does have a big impact when you treat your nutrition right.
Yes.
The next section is sleep and recovery. And we
Oh,
talked about how exercise and nutrition can affect our sleep, but when we concentrate on sleep and recovery, that branches out into so many areas of our body, from mood to energy to workout to motivation to uh, like you said, that mental emotional energy generally beyond motivation, but just that feeling good about yourself and obviously health and your physical health, whether you get sick or not. So your immune system requires that sleep and physical repair from workouts, sleep and recovery, and specifically recovery where you have not just sleep but downtimes from physical activity, downtimes from mental stressors. Those things are what are part of this category of sleep and recovery. Sleep is probably the biggest chunk of it, but if you are really good at the recovery part of it in other intentional ways, then maybe you don't need as much sleep. So it's all in one big bag of that sleep and recovery, letting your body reset, letting your body heal, letting your body adapt to other changes you're making, and to grow into what you need to grow into.
and I love that because it's true. It's the growth. Is where all the growth happen. Like people, if you go to the gym or do hard exercise, you're not getting stronger. You're getting weaker in that moment. You're ripping out the fibers. Your body is losing energy, and it's a lot of things going on. So the sleep is where all this repairment occurs and where you can build the muscle, when you recover, when you gain all the energy that you need. So sleep is super important. But as you were saying, recovery is not only about sleep. Look, there's people sleeping correctly, but trust me, they are overstressed and they're getting sick anyway. What is happening there? They are not getting breaks for their mind. They are not getting breaks from a burnout of the body or of the mind. So we need things like meditation. We need things like going hiking. We need to sit down with friends. We need read a book. Slow down sometimes for our mind. And other times we it's super important to do things that are recovery but stressing the body at the same time in different actions, like going to the sauna. You hit some stressors in the body, but it has a relaxation that benefits that come after a sauna is super important. Or if you mix them, you do a strength training. After a strength training, you go to the sauna. It brings a lot of benefits. So
That's my
this
favorite.
recovery, oh, I love it, and it brings a lot of benefits
Yeah.
and improve all the system. So recovery, bro, like people only thinks about sleep, but recovery comes in so many ways. Even we have to understand that some recovery is active. People think it's everything passive. Going to dance is a recovery moment mentally. The
Mhm.
mood goes up, you enjoy the moment, and you're moving, you're spending, but it's recovering from the mental stress from the week. That's why everybody is waiting for the weekend. For what? To have some fun, because that fun is recovery from the mental stress you have been pushing hard during the week. So not always recovery have to be being inactive and passive. Some
Right.
recoveries are active. Even going to release your brain from the week, you go to do sport in the weekend, and that part is recovery. So
Mhm.
recovery has too many shapes,
Mhm.
but we have to understand that there is recovery, physical recovery, like a massage, relaxing completely. A massage is physical and mental. It's like really one of those that really help in the two areas. But there are a lot of ways to recover your body, and we have to play with sleep and recovery. And sleep and recovery are essential for our nutrition and our movement. So they are essential. We need that those hours of a bad night's sleep makes harder that you eat healthier, because your
Yeah.
body like gave me energy and you're thinking like I need carbs and fats, and you go for the lasagna, the pizza, the whatever is rich. So the better you recover, less demand too is gonna be from your body to
Yeah.
say give me this.
Yeah.
So it's a balance, and they affect and interact one with the other all the time.
Yep. Yep. The signaling hormones that are, yeah, the ghrelin and the leptin. Yeah. The,
X.
the satiation versus hunger. And that's totally affected by your sleep. And yeah, that sort of leads right into, because mindset and stress really overlaps with that sleep and recovery area, because mindset and stress is that next area we wanted to cover. But obviously, the recovery part, the mental recovery parts that you build into the sleep and recovery, is blends right into this mindset and stress topic. And stress is like talking about our psychological load. Like, how many things do we have to think about? How many things are worrying us? How many things, in our life do we have to accomplish, and what is overloading us? And we've talked about it in previous episodes about what really hampers, being able to adapt and change the way you want to change, and to get new habits. When you're overly stressed, your body's in fight or flight. It's in retreat mode, essentially, and it will not branch out into new and different things. And so that's why mindset and stress also creates energy in your body, gives you access to your energy in so many ways. Is well, yeah, it sort of opens up your mitochondria in your intentional ways and your mindset. And there's even new studies on that we talked about recently. You and I personally, maybe we can get into some episodes about that. And so your mindset and stress is so much over your body. We talk about the placebo effect or the nocebo effect, in terms of, giving your body what it needs just mentally, and believing that your body can do the things that you want it to do. And in terms of healing, in terms of growing, in terms of fat burning, that mental attitude and the mindset is so important. And so that taking care of that and is so many different things. It's not only the recovery portion of that, which is important part of the mindset and stress, but the intentionality, the
Yes.
thinking about things in the right way, thinking about your body in the right way, thinking about your accomplishments in the right way. This manifesting that a lot of people think is a little woo woo is just about being intentional and making things happen in your life. And whether that happens on this, more ethereal quantum level or not, or whether it just happens through motivating yourself and changing your body chemistry, changing your DNA epigenetics,
Okay.
that
Yes.
basically your mindset affects how your body responds.
Yes.
Your mindset affects your DNA. It
Yeah.
affects your body chemistry. It affects how your nervous system works. And so, even if you're not believing in the manifesting in the woo woo way of manifesting, your intentions manifest in so many ways. So it's so important to think in the right way, to align your mindset with who you want to be, how you want to change, how you want your body to respond. And so that's why it's its own area of health, not just the de-stressing and recovery, which is an important part of your mindset and stress, but to take care of your stress so that you can be intentional, so that you
Yeah.
can regulate. That's what we talk about, nervous system regulation. That's what that is all about.
Yes. And I love that you bring this and you get more passionate about talking this topic because it's one of those forgotten parts of health. You know, it's one of those parts that I have seen in so many books or podcasts or social media or webs and everything. Like they forget about how important is the mindset, your self-talk, how you talk to yourself, how you manage your relationship with yourself. So this part of identity, how you believe you are, and that's it. Look, the power of the mind is big. We have seen the things like placebo effect, and everybody knows about this. The somatic experience with the body is like if you believe you're sick very much in something, you're gonna get sick. If you believe so it have that power. Okay, it's not woo woo. It have these repercussions, and the activated reticular system, for example, how it works. Well, when you put your focus, you see the opportunities. So this part of manifestation, I always see it like a way of, hey, if you think you have bad luck, and I have seen these experiments, I'm gonna throw a bill of 100 down next to you, and you're not gonna see it because you're not looking for those opportunities. And your brain, in what it focuses, it begins to see the patterns everywhere about that. If I tell you, oh, I'm gonna buy a red car, now I go to the street and oh, I never realized there were so many red
Yeah,
cars.
yeah. You're reinforcing what you're already thinking,
Exactly,
and you look for that evidence, yeah.
exactly. And that happens internally too. If you talk back to yourself and you're having no because your brain is always looking when you commit that mistake to say, you see, I'm like that, so changing the way you talk to yourself, changing these are super important, and those are related with the stress. The worse you talk to yourself, the more stress you create. When you are stressed, that stress is good. It's not a billion. Stress is good. We need the stress to move in life. We need stress to go forward. The problem is not stress. The problem is a chronic stress. And that's the one we have in our actual culture is a lot of chronic stress. Too much uh, talking bad to yourself, too much things that like, oh, I don't have money for the end of the month, oh, I don't have this, and those stressors are daily there, and that we need to lower down. The best way is breathing. Breathing is one of the best techniques to lower your stress levels and calm down your mind. and it's not meditation, it's breathing. First is breathing, then we can enter in meditation, but breathing is essential. And it's funny because I'm looking how we're talking, and we went maybe from the most essential to the less essential. It's true that we didn't take in nutrition the hydration because it's super important, keeping the water in the body. But look, you can live years without movement. It's not good. You're gonna get bad and weak and everything. But yes, you can live for a long time without eating. It's not the best, but you can pass weeks without eating. Without sleep, it's days. There are some days if you don't sleep in some several days, or you go crazy or you die. Like simple as that. Water is the next point. If you don't drink water for an amount of time, you are in danger. But the most important one is breathing. And breathing is forget. And breathing is the best way we can channel our mindset, our stress levels, to calm down, to take better decisions, to rest. This is part of recovery too.
Mm.
So it's super important that we understand that mindset is affecting everything too. Because if I believe that no, I'm not the guy who goes to the gym, I will not go to the gym. If I cannot eat healthy, I will not eat healthy. Like mindset is so important and affecting those other areas because it's the first one that we need to create our habits, to create the purpose, to move forward. So this is for me one of the most important that is forgotten.
Yes, exactly, and that's why we focus so much in Body Evolution about the mindset and about identity and how we our self-talk and how we own who we are and we manifest how we think about ourselves. And and that's who we create in ourselves. And so
Yes.
and when we change how we think about ourselves. And I wanted to get back to, you talked about breathing as being one of the biggest techniques. And it's obviously we all breathe. I'm breathing right now. I'm not even thinking about it. You don't have to think about breathing to breathe, but intentional breathing gives you that and it's sort of metaphorical in some way, but it's real in that it is your way. This is something that happens subconsciously, but it's your conscious mind overtaking that is representative of your conscious mind overtaking this the unconscious to be more intentional in your life. And
Yes.
that's what actual breath work and actually conscious focus on your breathing can do. It exercises your conscious mind overtaking your subconscious. And that is so powerful.
Yeah. Yes. And look, there are sometimes when we're talking about mindset and everything, we're stressed for so many things in life. And one of the things that people should learn is that there are a lot of things that are not in your hands. You cannot control. You cannot control governments. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control a lot of situations going around. We only really control a few things, and those are the ones you should be focused. Not, please don't even try to control your emotions. Emotions, they just gonna arrive, but we can control is how we react, and breathing can help in any of these occasions. So we can only control a few things, and reactions and how we perceive and how we talk to ourselves, those are under our control. The rest, we cannot control. We cannot control the rest of the world. We cannot control the other people. We cannot control those things. But when you control your breathing, you can control how you react, how you navigate your emotions, how you respond in life. And these are very important aspects of to building a strong identity and a resilient mind, and to lower your stress levels. So for me, it's foundational, and I think that I don't if you want to add something else, but I think that this bring us to the fifth pillar, that is your daily rhythm, your environment, and your connections. And we say they go together because your connections are part of your environment, and the daily rhythm is part of that lifestyle you are bringing on, and that is bringing all the situational. So your environment, hey, I can tell you, you should go to the gym. Maybe where you live there is not a gym, so hey, you should eat this fruit. Maybe where you live you don't have access to that fruit. So environment is super important because it's part of how we move in the world and how we relate. And when we talk about environment, it's not only your house, it's not only where you work, it's not only the city. Environment is a little bit, a lot of things going around you, and how you interact with them is super important. It's part of epigenetics, as you were talking before. If it's a city that is very polluted, if you live in the countryside, look, if you live near the sea, it's so relaxing, it's so peaceful. If you don't have access to the sun, environment is important. We need that sun that hit us. We need the energy from the sun. If in the countries that is too much darkness, it's a lot of depression. It affects your mood. So environment have all these aspects, and daily rhythm is related with the stress levels and everything, how you push. All these things are very important. But from all these connections, loneliness is one of the worst things that can happen, and connections is so important. And when we talk about connections, is connections with other human beings, connections with nature and animals, and connection with your own self. What do you think about this?
No, exactly. You're spot on. I think you explained it really well, that how there's so many things that shape our lifestyle. They're just part of our surroundings, and some of it we have control over, some of it we don't. But it is how we respond to it and how we sort of minimize those negative influences and accentuate the positive ones in our environment that help us create this healthy lifestyle that we want to lead. And so that's why we include this as a pillar of health, because it is a big chunk of it. It affects everything else. It affects our mindset when the amount of light we get. It affects our sleep, how warm or cool our house is. It affects our access to diet, like if in and like you said, the accessibility, environment in my kitchen, how I set up where I put which foods. It creates which foods are on top of my mind. So I'm gonna put the healthier things in front. If we have the environment of, it's easy for me to get a workout in. If I have, things in my home to be able to be exercised, or if I have easy access in my town to a fitness center, then I can access those things better. And so shaping your life and your environment gives you that that ability and the ease of living into that lifestyle, and the inputs into your body that are part of your environment, the light, the pollutions, the the fresh air, the water, the all these things, the access to these things and how it hits your body and how your body responds to them is important. And so, like I said, you accentuate in your environment what you can to enhance the lifestyle in the direction you want, and to minimize the negative effects as much as you can.
Exactly. And look, connections. What is other aspect super important of connections? It's easier to do exercise when you do it with a group of friends. It's easier to eat healthy when you got all together and you eat together and you cook together and everything. I love when we were the last time in Mallorca together, and we were with all of our friends doing these salads and this healthy and these meats and everything. And we were eating amazingly and it was beautiful. So even connections can help you to take easier care of yourself. Not
Yeah.
all. We have friends that will push you. Hey, let's have the beer. Hey, let's go for the pizza. It's true, but that's part of enjoyment and health too. It's not always repressing. No, like
Mhm.
I cannot do this, I cannot do that. No, part two is to allow those situations to come, more moderated, but we need those because it's part of joy.
To savor
Like,
those, that's part of the
yeah,
mental emotional aspect of your health. In
exactly.
such a big way, and again, it's undervalued. These so many people that are health gurus will say, "Oh, you should never ever drink alcohol." Well, maybe you shouldn't. It's not the healthiest thing for sure. The more research they do on it, the more they say any amount of alcohol is probably physically bad for your body. But the social elixir that it creates and the experiences you might have can balance that out, and that's the those are the decisions you have to make. I'm not telling everybody, yeah, you have to go out and drink and
No,
get drunk to be healthier. Corey said to drink more.
no,
No,
no, no.
that's not true. It is that you have to savor those extra moments that might not physically be technically healthy, but they nurture your soul.
Yes,
And for that mental emotional state to be in a positive is so much and so undervalued in
yes.
its effect on your overall health.
Yes, just when we are super rigid and you have to use all the time your willpower and you go with a group of friends and no, I cannot do that. No, I cannot do that. Look, the thing is to allow sometimes it's not to be doing that all the time. It's not to be drinking beer all the day. It's not to drinking gin tonics all the day. It's not to be eating hamburgers all the day. But hey, I've been taking care of myself the whole week and I was fine and everything. And maybe on Saturday I see some friends and we're gonna eat some, I don't know, some pizza, some beer, and we're gonna watch a movie or something like that. Enjoy that moment. Don't stay doing that all the time and don't do it super frequently because then it's going to be bad for your health. But having and allowing those moments from time to time are going to counteract, because if you are with your friends there and you are not enjoying the moment with your friends because you're saying, I cannot drink that, I cannot eat that, I cannot do, they're creating stress. And believe me, that stress is maybe creating more harm and hurt to your body than eating that piece of pizza, that
Mm,
drinking that beer. So it's not about go drunk, get drunk. No, don't get drunk. Getting drunk is not the. But have a drink, celebrate. Oh, I win this one. You have a glass of champagne. You have a beer with a friend. Yes, allow those moments. So connections, those bonds are so important, and they help you in all the other areas to go easier. So if you train together, it's easier. If you go to eat healthier, it's easier. Sometimes you put a challenge. If you can find someone to go with you, now you're not doing it only for you, but you want to respond to the other person. This push you to, this helps you like, I don't want to go to do this, but I tell my friend I'm gonna do this and you go. I tell my partner I'm gonna be committed to this, and it helps you to be more consistent, to start, to create a new habit. It helps you a lot. So yes,
yeah.
this is very important in our life.
Yeah, and so I I I love how this all comes together it's been a great conversation. And so let's how does somebody actually use this? We have these 5 pillars. And so
Okay.
how do we put this into action? And so we talked in the previous episode about just take these small chunks, make it easy to start, and don't take on too many things at once, or it's going to be overstressed in your body. You're going to reject it. So how do we use this framework to get started to make our life healthier in a manageable way?
So one of the things we did is we create a free guide. We create a free guide where we talk about these 5 pillars. And in the one, we give some tips, ideas. You can choose your own ideas that are going to be aligned with your lifestyle, aligned with your environment, aligned with the things you want, with your goals, and you choose what you want to apply. In this guide, we put 3 actions in each of these pillars as an example that you can apply. Some of them are extremely easy to do, some of them need a little bit more effort, so it depends on what level you are. You don't have to choose one action or do the 15 actions. You have to choose one in the area that you feel is going to be better for you to start. Maybe you can choose, oh, I like these 3 areas and I'm going to choose one action in each of these 3 areas. Or I want to improve this area and I choose 3 actions in this area. So the idea is at least pick one to start. Then we have ripple effects and then we can go deeper into others. But how they can apply. So example we have in nutrition, we have one of the actions. Hey, how you build your plate. Eat 70% vegetables, And the other 30% you divide it with part of protein and part of fats. Okay, and from your vegetable you're already getting your carbs. So you build the plate in a way that is giving all the nutrients to you, and that's easy. You don't have to really, but you just have to eat more vegetables, that's all. Or maybe in exercising, we were putting something about a little bit action of Tabata. Tabata is a very effective dose of exercise in a very small time. It's, with 4 minutes, it's good. You can do more, yes, but with 4 minutes, you're gonna elevate your heart rate, you're gonna train your body, it's gonna improve your cardiovascular, and at the same time, if you do it with exercises that are related with strength, like push-ups, like squats and everything, you are going to improve your muscles too at the same time. So with one small action, you are improving different areas and adaptations of the body. We
Let
have
me know
more
that
actions.
that's for people who are kinda used to the pushing their body a little bit. Tabata can be intense for very much beginners, but yeah, that's a it's a good example of it's a very small chunk of time you have to devote to get a lot of a lot out of that. Yeah.
Yes, we have others like Qigong.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
please explain a little bit Qigong for the people
Well,
who doesn't
like
know.
qigong is uh, Qi, or people call it Chi, depending on your pronunciation, uh, is your life energy, right? And so Qigong is working with your life energy and exercises to do that. It is. And people probably heard of it. It's related to Tai Chi. Tai Chi is more of the movements that are related to self-defense movements, but it's a very much related practice is to do different motions, and it's great for mobility, blood flow, and on a physical level, and then you're working with your life energies and making your body more energized. Again, more centered. Whether or not some people believe in life energies, we are made of energy. There's no denying we have life energy in us. So it is just what it is. But you can argue those points in different times. But qigong and just elements of it, different exercises, picking things that work for you, just create a little morning routine, a tiny thing to get your body moving in the right directions with elements from qigong or some jumping jacks or just some stretches that or yoga, all these things. Just put
Yes.
something together that works for you and just do small steps. You don't have to do your whole hour of yoga every day. That's going to be too much.
And there are other areas like the one of in the fifth pillar, now daily rhythm and everything. Like, hey, get some sun in the morning.
Yeah.
A,
Yeah.
a little bit of the exposure in the morning, aligning your circadian rhythms, so
Mhm.
then you can go to rest better. You have the vitamin D that your body needs, or go for a walk after some meals, so
Mhm.
you improve your digestion. You do a exercise of breathing to relax your mind, to recover. When it comes to recovery, some hiking. Maybe from now on, I'm gonna start walking more. I'm gonna go for a hiking, or maybe you choose to go to the sauna one time a week, and that's your new action, and to relax the body or have a massage,
Mhm.
or to improve your bedroom. We have some actions like, hey, how to create a better environment to go to sleep. And also turn off your lights 1 hour before,
Mhm.
uh, get an action, a little routine before going to sleep that allows you to calm down the mind and this
Yeah.
stress. And so, in each of these different areas, we have different actions to be done. In the mindset, we have meditation,
Mhm.
breathing exercises. So
Right.
you can check out the guide, and you will understand. We try to explain the best way possible there.
Yeah.
And if you download it, any doubt or just contact us, write us, and we'll try to guide you a little bit better with the guide. But the idea is not to do everything perfect, to do all the actions. You can choose your own action that you know is good for you. You don't need to do exactly this. You can do the fasting. We talk a little bit about the including
Mhm.
fasting too in the guide. So it's to choose something, choose a signal you want to send to your body to create a new uh, resource of energy for your body, a new movement, a new recovery, a signal
Yeah.
that is easy for you. If you can do more than one, perfect. But start with one at least.
Yes.
That's all.
Yep. Yep. And let that consistency that you create, that rhythm that you create, that builds your confidence to just keep moving in the right direction. And in all these areas, we're going to get deeper. These new episodes are coming, and we just sort of touch very lightly on a lot of different things, but there's so many ways to dive deep into all of them. So hit us with questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear, go deeper on any area that you'd love to. Good ideas. We can bring on different experts that we know in different sub areas of this stuff, that to go deep and to really help you discover what's possible, and what these things can do, and what benefits you can get out of different things. So yeah.
Yes. And I like what you just said, and it's true. Hey, comment us, tell us, hey, we would love to learn more about this. And we can bring these themes, we can bring experts, and we can have those conversations to bring more clarity and make it a bit more comprehensible, and you understanding better like things work, and to understand that there are so many ways to get to the same results. So is we want to be open in this aspect. It's not only one, it's one system, one rigid, one diet, one exercise. No, there are so many ways. So we want you to invite you, because in this journey of body evolution is to comprehend how the body works and understand all the ways that you can address in different aspects that suits more to your lifestyle, because that's one of the most important things. You have to suit to you, for your goals, for what you're looking for, and what is good for you.
I think we're pretty solid with this episode. I really like that we've covered all the 5 pillars, and give people a hint on how to start. That's really what's so important. Again, the starting is always the biggest hump. And so
Yeah,
if we give that easy start on this whole journey, and so they can create the easy starts on the habits in their life and know which ones really affect their health. That's what I really wanted to do with this episode. And
yeah.
so we again, download that guide if it's interesting to you. Let us know what other topics are really interesting to you, so we can follow up and create some specialized deep dives into these subtopics. But yeah, I really appreciate it.
Okay. I just want to add, you don't have to fix your life. You don't have to fix your life. You only have to support your body. Support your body so your body allows you to express the lifestyle you want to have. And with this said, I just want to say, if this conversation have bring you some clarity, some depth, if you have learned, you have sparked something in you, please just follow us. It's very helpful to keep on growing and reach to more people. And if you know someone that will be beneficial to hear this episode, please share with them. If the whole podcast is important for them, share with them the whole podcast. So just we invite you to follow us and
Yes.
participate with us.
Yeah. And again, there's many ways to go deeper with us. If you want to learn more about us and what we do, you can follow us on social media. You can check out our program and our coaching. It's all in the links below. So hope to hear from you. See you
Yes.
next
So
episode.
see you next episode. Thank you, Corey.
Bye bye.